Good evening and welcome to the March 9th, 2026 legislative session of the Salisbury City Council. In the event of an emergency, please remain calm and exit through the double doors you came in. Make a right and proceed to the stairwell. If the hallway is blocked, then exit to the left, around the corner and down the stairs. Please do not use the elevator and let us know if help is needed. At this time, we ask that everyone please silence your cell phone. Now, Councilwoman DeShields will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give me a time.
Is Bishop Andre Alexander here today from New Dimensions? Well, we will bow our heads for a moment of silence. The Citizen Award is going to be presented by Mayor Randy Taylor.
All right. Mr. Greg Schenk, is he here? Is Greg Schenk here? Okay. You want me to read this, or you want me to hold it till he gets here? Or till he comes?
Just however you want it.
Well, I can read it, and we can just give it to him
and
privately.
then present it to him, yeah.
Okay. On Saturday, January 31st, 2026, Greg Schenk of Maryland Department of Natural Resources demonstrated extraordinary selflessness and courage while responding to a life-threatening emergency on the Nanticoke River in Wycomico County. 6 hunters found themselves stranded on a boat in distress, unable to return to land due to dangerously frozen river conditions and severe winter weather. With wind conditions preventing aviation support from the Maryland State Police, authorities called upon Mr. Schenk to assist using his airboat stationed at the DNR office in Vienna. Without hesitation, Mr. Schenk ventured onto the frozen river in bitterly cold and blustery conditions. Fully aware of the personal risk he involved and to others, Mr. Schenk made 2 separate trips on the airboat and successfully rescued all 6 individuals, ensuring they were brought safely back to shore. His actions went well beyond the call of duty and exemplify the very highest ideals of public service. The city proudly recognizes Gregory Schenk for his remarkable bravery, selfless service, and heroic actions, which reflect a deep dedication to protecting the lives and well-beings of others. So, thank you, Greg. And we will issue this in my office, so we'll just do that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we'll have SU's Presidential Citizen Scholars come forth. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're getting our presentation pulled up over there. All of you know me now. I just met Councilwoman Holland. I'm Professor Ryan Weaver. Many of you know me from other stuff I've done in the community prior to working full-time at Salisbury University, pastoring Remedy Church, leading We Heart SBY, et cetera, et cetera. We have worked, my family and I, with the community in all sorts of different roles for the last 20 years. We're grateful to now me be in this position where I get to see my face less and my beard less in these settings, and I get to hand the mic to my amazing students. We have a couple other students who are riding together from SU Hopefully they get here by the time it's their moment I'll take that because that way you're not having to think about it because you're about to be talking. We're in a position where we're giving you an abbreviated presentation. More of this will happen at the PACE Showcase. I think I have a slide at the very end inviting everybody to the PACE Showcase at Salisbury University, April 23rd. I think it's at 1 p.m. That's what time that starts, and that's open to everyone to come and be a part of that, where the scholars will give a more full presentation. They've all obviously given an abbreviated version of this for tonight. The two scholars who are with us are writing together because Marissa had an exam, an accounting exam, and she could not get out of that, and Matisse is writing with her. So I'll hand it off now to Murtaza. I'll let you get rolling. If everybody wants to, I'll skip that. Here's everybody, almost everybody who's here. Do you want to introduce yourselves real quick, and then you can get rolling?
Hi, my name is Annie Bechtel. I'm a junior at Salisbury University studying respiratory therapy.
Asa Akil. I'm a political science senior at Salisbury University.
Good afternoon. My name is Moses Silva, and I'm a secondary education major with Earth Science.
Hi everyone, my name is Luzana Nisaj. I'm a nursing major minoring in psychology.
First of all, good afternoon, Councilwoman. That's pretty cool. All
Afternoon. Yeah.
Well, we're here with Salisbury University's PCS, Presidential Citizen Scholars, and we want to talk about our project mission first. As you can see here, I'm not going to repeat the whole thing, but what the main mission was of the project was to address the west side of Salisbury community, west side of Salisbury, and see what the constituents of the area needed, because we have two community centers in Salisbury, both one on Truett Street and one on Newton, but none in the west side of Salisbury. So we put out a survey, seeing what the people would like to see. The vision is to analyze the survey and, again, work in collaboration and give the city any future ideas of what that potential community center could look like.
I would add to that just to say clearly that we went through the process. All the scholars were trained in ethical research through the institutional review board process at Salisbury University. And we also worked very closely with Rachel Manning. Rachel was our award winner for PACE just 2 years ago for the Collaborator of the Year. Rachel partners on all sorts of projects with assistant scholars. Another note is PCS is a 3-semester program, so these students are in their 3rd semester of the program, and so they're in the process of wrapping that up. It's an interdisciplinary program, and they get to pick the project that they worked on. So these scholars collaborated together to develop the survey, execute the survey, collect the data, analyze the data, and just again, Rachel's been instrumental. Rachel, we see you back there. Thanks for everything. So appreciative of your work in the community.
So this entire project was in 3 major parts. The first
Pull that mic to you.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
I hate hearing my voice, you know what I mean? The first part of the project was community outreach, again, going to different events, such as the folk festival, and tabling and hearing from the community. And what this project aims is to increase access to community activities and healthcare resources for residents who currently lack them. That's, again, a big focus of what we came into this with. The second main goal is data insight. Again, seeing what the data has given us, how it can cater to the youth, other adults, any developmental projects that can come out of that, may it be social welfare or may it be financial welfare, anything of the sorts. And the third, and this is the big hope of what we would like to see the city pick up from this survey, would be the future initiatives that comes out of this. And we have a health, our group is divided into 2 halves, and the health half, they have a really cool idea that I'm not going to spoil, but it's something good to talk about. So what constitutes as the west side of Salisbury? There you go. The 21801 zip code, right on the west of 13. Yeah, I would call that the west side. Thankfully, a lot of the responses that we got were from the 21801, 21804 region, and as a lot of you know, I'm raised in Salisbury. I live off in Anacoke. So a lot of people from the 21804 area do interact with people in the 21801 area, so everyone's responses was very important here. And again, 22 responses from other, so that could be people out of town or a lot of people from Hebron and Delmar. Yeah. These are the major languages: English with 105, Haitian Creole with 13, Korean with 2, and Spanish with 1.
Okay, so this is a few pictures of how we get some responses. The first one was at a local church here at Salisbury called Word of Life. It's a Haitian church. We have a huge population of Haitians here, so I wanted to get more responses from them to see what they would like to see at the community center. We also translate into Haitian Creole. But yeah, and we use different methods to try to bring people in. One of the things where we put candy out on the table and the kids would come and then the parents would also come. And also the bottom left picture is me, Annie, and Rachel at the Waterside Park of Salisbury. We also try to get responses there. But yeah, and this is me and Annie in the right side bottom at the folk festival where we also got majority of our responses.
Collecting the data was surprisingly also one of the coolest things about this project. I think it's easy for when you're doing a research project for the numbers to get lost, but each one of these numbers represent a civilian here in our community in Salisbury. So one of the major sets of data we collected was very much from the Folks Festival. And for those who don't know, the Folk Festival is this amazing event that celebrates the richness and diversity of our culture with music, with drinks, and also with us, because we were there this time. But it was an amazing experience, and one of the things that I found was that people didn't feel heard. And here we are, though. We are representing them.
This was one of the most interesting things. I know graphs are very riveting, so you guys can get really excited about it. The major thing was arts and programming, with the second major responses being academic support. So what we can see here is that there's a desire for the social well-being and, again, the academic to set up the youth to have, a better future, but also we as humans in a society, we desire and we yearn for that connection within within each other. We live in a very tight-knit community, and I think it's important to highlight how important something like book club could be, or creative writing, or cooking classes, and again, making sure we're also highlighting financial understanding, which is such an important thing because public education may not cover it enough as a person may need it to, and especially for people who are more impoverished, that's something that they need, and it's a privilege that not everyone has.
So this one, it's a little different than the graph that you just saw. I think it's...
Introduce yourself first.
Sorry, I'm Marissa McGrath. Sorry, guys. I just came from a midterm. That's why I was late. So this one, I think, is a little more fun than just the bar graph that you just saw. Both of them provide very meaningful data, but this one was more unique. We put an other box on our survey. That way people could type in whatever they wanted to. And if we look at the red line in the middle, that was the ones that we kind of got the most responses for, or like the most unique, standing out, like, hey, we don't have this. This is a really cool idea. Maybe we can do this with the new community center. So there were a lot of responses for senior citizen programs to keep them involved in the community and active and different things like that, because there are events for them, but not in a way that incorporates them with the rest of the community. And then another thing was a dad support team, or like a mom support team for children who may not have both sets of parents in their lives. That way they have that support system and have somebody that they can rely on and talk to.
This is something I found to be very, very exciting and very hopeful. As we know, Maryland and other cities in Maryland, Salisbury included, and Baltimore, there's been a very good decline in crime that's going on. And this presidential administration, has Attorney General Office has credited a, quote, multi-jurisdictional crime reduction collaboration for sharp decline in violent crime across Maryland. So if the president of this country, their Attorney General, is saying that, hey, Maryland is the state to look at, and there is proof that social welfare programs has led to a steep decline, again, looking at a city like Baltimore, that I think that's amazing, and I think we can turn to that. Now, these two graphs, ignore the one on the right for now. So on the left is as you can see, that green star, that's where Newton Community Center would be. This is before its construction, or right during the conception of its construction. These are, I believe, it's off of the City of Salisbury Police Department website, and I believe they're Class A crimes, so aggravated assault, if I'm not wrong. And you can see there's a very, very dense crime population going on. This can range from, again, burglary or robberies or assault post, and as you can see, 2024 on the right. I know the colors are different, but I was informed that the City of Salisbury Police Department changed the program they use for graphing their crimes, so I know it's a little contradictory, but once you look at it, it makes sense. But as you can see on the right, there's a huge dissipation of crime, like a huge, I mean, when you look at everything on the left south, I mean, there's nothing really. If you look at it, it's amazing. Then if we go on to the next slide, we can see that for Truett Street, again, left being Truett before it was constructed, after, or on the right during its construction in 2024, it might not seem like a reduction in crime, but again, due to the disparity and differences in programs, there is a decrease in crime, and most importantly, crime has plateaued. It's going against the idea of crime climbing. So these two have shown us that these programs, these community programs, is helping fighting crime. Now, why are we bringing this up? As someone who lives on the west side of Salisbury, I'm well aware, and as my members here and all of you guys are well aware, that crime on the west side of Salisbury is very abundant, sadly. This crime shows different incidents of crime going on in the west side of Salisbury. This can go from trespassing to assault and robberies. And we very much so believe that having a community center in that area could help fight off that crime. And if you look on the bottom right, where there's a bunch of ones in those boxes, those are all trespassing reports to the police, where Truett Street would be. So that would, or not Truett Street, but Newton would be. And that would probably be like a college student being drunk and walking around, you know, if I had to take my guess at it. So it's very hopeful, but really, it's either that or, you know, it's better than someone breaking into a house. I'm just saying, you know. No, that was all. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a picture of all of us. We met Kathy Fritch and Jen Davis in downtown, and they brought up a major challenge that's happening here in Salisbury, especially with people who does not speak English clearly. They stated that there's kids who cannot start school because they don't have the right vaccination that they need to take to start school, which I completely understand, because that happened with my family member. My sister couldn't start school because she didn't have the proper vaccination done. And so we took that into account, and we put health information in the survey about what the community would like to see at the community center. But yeah.
And then these were the questions or the options for the health question in our survey, asking if people would like health screenings, vaccine clinics, health insurance sessions, or vaping awareness. And then these were the results that we got, which led us to the decision to come up with the community health fair, which is free to the community. It will take place at Newton Community Center on March 28th. You guys should all come. Lots of fun stuff, blood pressure checks, vaccine information, just really trying to ensure that the community has access to healthcare.
Sorry, stepping up here for a moment. I think it's important also to note that on the previous slide with Kathy Frisch and Jen Davis are Wicomico County Public Schools leaders in the health department. And on this event that Luz, Dinah, Annie, and the other scholars are working on, this event is also going to include opioid awareness, the fire department, et cetera, et cetera. And while we wish we could put it on the west side, and Waterside Park would have been a good option, but obviously we know there's construction going on there. And so while this health clinic is for the west side, but it's being held at Newton because there's no space to do that necessarily on the west side. So I just think it's important to note that driving that home, that the data we just showed you is the west side of Salisbury, or, West Salisbury, we could say. And we're also just hoping very much that we can get the word out through your districts, because this is free and open to the community, especially for kids and families who need these resources with Tidal Health, et cetera, et cetera.
What's the time?
It's from 11 to 2.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Matthijs Goins-Harvey. I'm the other scholar. I'm doing another project from everyone else, but so I'm doing the Wacomico County Housing and Resource Guide. So I won't take too long with explaining all of this because a lot of it's actually advanced since the last time I presented this. But this all started out with Christy Richardson at the Wacomico Public Library. There was a big need for a renter's, basically a renter's guide with a lot of the landlords, some of the renters' rights. There's lots of guides in Salisbury, but there was missing that one. And so that it immediately really expanded with a partnership with Christine Chestnut with the city of Salisbury. And she immediately was like, we need to expand this to not just renter stuff, but as well as like resources in terms of food, day centers, and especially shelters in the area. And on top of that, the really big kicker for this is that it is a website. And a lot of the other guides that exist are, number one, outdated typically, and number two, because they're outdated because they're basically a form of PDF or a printed thing. So if we have someone, aka the Wacomico Public Library, that is able to update it regularly and it can live as a website, it can be easily accessible, easily updated, and updated for as long as someone can update it, really, as long as the Wacomico website is up. So that being said, it is already out, so I'm not really here to advocate for anything. I'm more so just wanting to be here to make sure that everyone that can know about it does know about it. Yeah. Awareness, yep. And also, if you guys can help me out too, if you know contacts, if you see the website and you want something to be added to it, I'm still working on it right now. I'm actively adding to it as we go with the help of the Wacomico Public Library. I think Professor Weaver will have my contact information. Obviously, I'll have my contact information. So that's the main reasons I came. Awareness, please let people know about this. It's going to be getting updated throughout the rest of this year. That's basically my project. That's a lot of the people to thank.
If you have any questions, I know we've got two groups here. One of the things that's unique about PCS is over those 3 semesters, they get to pick their projects, they work together, and you've got 2 of 4 groups that are working in this cohort. So I didn't hit you with all 4. I hit you with 2 of those projects tonight as they're finishing their projects this semester. We've got a new cohort that'll be downtown at the Rommel Center literally tomorrow with me. Rachel will be there tomorrow to meet the new scholars. They haven't picked their projects, so this is an ongoing, perpetual thing that I lead and would love to continue to hear from you and continue to partner. Last year, the cohort last spring worked with Mayor Taylor and even painted at Newton Street, the street calming street mural was a PCS project from last year that we worked with Brandon Bell to get that designed and painted and designed by kids in Newton Street. So you've heard 2 more projects from PCS at Salisbury University, but if you have any questions, I'll sit back down and let you go from there.
Councilwoman Blake, do you have any questions?
This is fantastic. I mean, your work in this has just been amazing. It's going to be so helpful to us moving forward on the west side, especially with that community center that we're all planning. It's very exciting times, and this is going to be a nice roadmap for us. Thank you. We're forever grateful.
Councilwoman DeShields?
I personally appreciate your work on the resource guide, especially since it can be updated, ongoing, updated all the time, because then it doesn't become obsolete and people are just, done with this. So thank you, all of you. I'm a retired teacher, so I'm proud of all of you because you've done such a great job in presenting. And you can see you're a team. And anything you have to share with us, we are most grateful.
Councilwoman?
I just think this is amazing. Never underestimate a graph. They're fantastic. Okay. Lots of great data in here. I especially am interested in the fact that, the responses from the voices in the community was arts programming was a big thing. I think that that's something that's incredibly important as the daughter of an art teacher. But I think that this is, an amazing resource. And I really appreciate all the hard work that all of you guys have put on your projects. I'm curious as to what the other two projects are about.
You want to?
Yeah, I would love to know.
So the other two, one is a civic leadership club that's working right now. They meet every other week at James and Bennett and also at Parkside. So that is a civic club where they're doing basically, if they were here presenting, they would say they're a mini PCS for those high school students, helping them get civically engaged and civically trained. One of the plans for every one of these projects is to make sure they're sustainable. So we're working with local teachers to make sure the clubs keep going. At Parkside, that is Tim Bosman, who used to be with Wicomico County's health board for a little while. He was the director of that LMB, and now he's there as a career coach, and so he's leading that club alongside the scholars. And the other project is a mental health awareness book. We have worked with 4 artists locally. The scholars actually wrote the book with Rachel Moore from the Center for Healthy Communities at Salisbury University, and they consulted with social work folks in the community and others, and it's targeting kids in like 3rd and 4th grade and their families. And it's an illustrated book, and they're on their final draft right now. So again, Pay Showcase, all that'll be unveiled. And yes, we're real close on that. And that will live online as well. So it'll have a
Nice.
QR code, just like this project. There's that sustainability piece. Printed copies tend to travel, but they're, so hoping that those are the other 2 projects. Pretty cool stuff. This
That's
is a
awesome.
really, really good cohort.
That's
actually.
awesome.
It's really awesome.
It's fantastic. You guys should be
Councilwoman Holland?
Fantastic job. Thank you all for coming tonight. I'm presenting from someone who had a son who went to SU and 2 others who start there in August. Thank you very much. I think it's phenomenal work. I sure will.
Council.
And for myself, knowing that, I believe in young people, I believe in youth. That is my forte, the youth and the senior citizens. And when you said that about the senior citizens, I was just overwhelmed, because I'm looking for a place right now to do an active senior event, like every Saturday, to keep the seniors active, keep them active, keep them going. We're so appreciative of your time, your talent, your gifts, your knowledge, your wisdom, your collaboration to bring this together. And we really would love to see more and more and more from you. We really appreciate it. I do. It did my heart good.
President Jackson.
Yes.
You guys may or may not be aware of this, but in probably 2 weeks, we're going to settle on the West Side Community Center, or our West Side Community Center. I'm not sure what the right terminology is of the West Side. Yeah, West Salisbury, yeah.
It's the West Side.
But it's a 6,500 square foot warehouse with an office, an outdoor area right there
right.
next to Rural Farms, which is right next to Pemberton Park. So it's going to really, we've already talked to it. President Jackson and myself have met with, and then Rachel have met with a couple of potential. So we're interested in programmatic stuff. So to the extent you guys want to come down and visit once we get started on the renovation, we'd love to talk to you. So thank you for the work.
Yeah, and also, when Rachel and Pemberton School came out to do that observation on what the community wanted, the kids said arts, dance, drawing. They put it all together. They really came out with it, and, we assisted, because some of them didn't really know how to write it, but we helped them because they were young. And I was like, this is what they're interested in, and we have to value our young people because they are valuable to us. They're not just our future, they're our right now. So we don't take a hold of them and do things for them now, we're going to lose them, as we have lost some of them already. I don't want to lose any more of our youth. I don't want to not be able to do things with our seniors because they don't have. Nobody does much for them. I do a senior thing during the winter, but that's it. So like I said, we all thank you for everything that you've done and continue. to do it.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
one more thing. Rachel, would you stand up in the back, please?
Yes, 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 yes.
Those of you in the audience who don't know Rachel, that's Rachel. She's the glue, in my opinion, that keeps all these, centers together and then has time to outreach and work with all of you. Thank you, Rachel.
Madam President, over here.
Yes.
I just want to take an opportunity to say I would not be happy if I didn't do this, and I'm sorry to embarrass you. You know I'm going to do. Murtaza is a former intern for the council and the clerk's office, and I just have to say how proud I am to see you up here. You've worked hard for us before during your semester that you were with us, but this makes my heart happy to see you bring your team with you to come back to where you helped us at one time, and now you're coming back to help the council. So I'm very proud of you, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Young people, big hands. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all. It is now time for our presentation and adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the legislative agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Ms. English?
Good evening, council. For the agenda this evening, we have 2 items on the consent agenda, 2 items under resolutions. We have 5 ordinances, all first readings. And toward the end of the agenda, we will have 1 presentation for Women's History Month. Dr. Clara Small is listed on here, but we are going to reschedule to a time that we can get her actually to be here to accept the certificate. Following that, we will have public comment, administration comments, and council comments.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the chair votes aye. Consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. English?
For the consent agenda, we have a manufacturing exemption for Smith's Interconnect Americas Incorporated. And we also have, for Board of Appeals, we have resolution number 3463, appointing Michael Langford to the Board of Appeals for term ending March 2029.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
And the chair votes aye. Angela, did you vote? Because I didn't hear you.
I don't remember if I did or not, to be honest. I was thinking. I may not have.
Are you?
Opposed to the consent agenda?
Yes.
Or- Yeah, nay.
Okay, chair votes aye, 3-2. Michael Langford, we're thanking you for your appointment. Would you please stand so everyone can see who you are? Thank you.
You, Michael?
Okay. Resolutions. Resolution number 3464. Can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution number 3464?
So moved?
Second.
Ms. Boucher?
Good evening, Council. Resolution number 3464. This is a resolution of the Council of the City of Salisbury making a declaration of official intent regarding the City of Salisbury's reasonable expectation to reimburse from proceeds of a future borrowing project expenditures made in connection with a project generally identified as the West Side Community Center. If I may, since the presentation of this at work session and the posting of the agenda, there's been a change through legal counsel that we would like to request. And I think just appropriate, just read this into the record, and I will explain the reason for this, okay? So on line 54, we would be adding a second subsection, so there will be 3 in total, to include, and this is the language, to include the acquisition of the property on which the community center will be located. And likewise, we would be adding to section 2 on line 66 at the end of the sentence, reading expenditures made with respect to the project, adding the following language, comma, including property acquisition costs. As you heard the mayor speak tonight, the city is moving forward with purchasing a property on Parsons Road for the West Side Community Center. We just wanted to make clear from a legal standpoint that the purpose of this resolution is to allocate the money for that funding. So we wanted to, however, to make sure it was specific that it also allowed the purchase of the property. And at the meeting work session coming up following Monday, there will be an ordinance presented too for actually authorizing the purchase of this property on Parsons Road.
All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I just have a question. How much is the property on Parsons?
$285.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Could I get a motion and a second to approve Resolution 3465?
So moved?
Second.
Ms. O'Shea?
Resolution number 3465, this is a resolution of the City of Salisbury to approve the city's substantial amendment for community development block grant coronavirus CBDG CV funds for CBDG CF FY 2020.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the chair votes aye. Ordinances. Ordinance number 2979. Can I get a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2979 for the first reading? Ms.
So
Boucher?
moved.
Second.
Ordinance number 2979. This is an ordinance of the council of the City of Salisbury to authorize and empower City of Salisbury to sell and issue from time to time upon its full faith and credit one or more series of 1A general obligation bonds and B general obligation bond anticipation notes, each in an original aggregate principal amount not to exceed $3 million, and 2 general obligation refunding bonds subject to the limitations provided for herein, the proceeds of the sale thereof, to be used and applied for the public purpose of financing, reimbursing, or refinancing costs of the public purpose projects identified herein as neighborhood infrastructure improvements, Naylor Mill Road Bridge replacement, exhibit facility improvements, AZA accreditation or reaccreditation, Poplar Hill building improvements, shutter, HVAC, siding, the West Side Community Center, and cost of issuance, specifying the maximum original aggregate principal amount of the bonds or bond anticipation notes provided for herein to be allocated to each such project, subject to reallocation by the city as described herein, providing that such the council by resolution shall determine and approve or provide for various matters relating to the authorization, sale, security issuance, delivery, payment, and prepayment or redemption of and for each issued series of any bonds, bond anticipation notes, and refunding bonds, each referred to as a series of obligations or the obligations, providing for the imposition of ad valorem taxes sufficient for and pledging the full faith and credit and unlimited taxing power of the city to the payment of debt service on each issued series of the obligations, providing that debt service on each issued series of the obligations also may be paid from any other source of revenue lawfully available to the city for such purpose, providing that certain actions may be taken or provided for by resolution in connection with the reissuance or modification of any of the obligations, providing that any of the obligations may be consolidated with other obligations of the city and issued as a single series of bonds, bond anticipation notes, and/or refunding bonds, authorizing, directing, and empowering officials and employees of the city to take certain actions in connection with the obligations, authorizing modifications of the obligations to be made by resolution unless I lost my spot. Sorry. I'm sorry. Unless another action is required, providing that this title shall be deemed a statement of the substance of this ordinance for all other purposes, providing that the provisions of this ordinance shall be liberally construed and otherwise generally relating to the sale, issuance, delivery, and payment of and for the obligations. It's been a minute since we've read something that long.
All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Ordinance number 2980. Can I get a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2980 for first reading?
So moved.
Second.
This is much better. Ordinance 2980, an ordinance of the City of Salisbury to require the acquisition of an electrical permit through the City of Salisbury prior to conducting work on electrical systems, equipment, or connections. Tonight, before you for first reading.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're doing 2980, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Yeah, you're kind of slow on that. Any opposed? Any opposed?
Okay, Speedy.
The chair votes aye. I was like, wow, what happened here?
Quick draw.
The choir got silent. Can I get a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2981 for first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance number 2981, an ordinance of the City of Salisbury approving a budget amendment of the city's budget to accept and appropriate donated funds from the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore to support the cost of Salisbury City Park pedestrian bridge restoration.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And the chair votes aye. Ordinance number 2982. Can I get a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2982 for first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Angela? Okay, Ms. Boucher?
Ordinance number 2982. It's an ordinance to accept funds received from Sustainable Maryland in the amount of $20,000 as awarded to enact the Pollinator Pathways Program in the City of Salisbury.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye. Ordinance number 2983. Can I get a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2983 for first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance number 2983. This is an ordinance of the City of Salisbury amending Chapter 17.04.012 of the Salisbury City Code to revise the definition of a, quote, specialty shop, end quote.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We will now have a women's history presentation by myself. And after we do this, I would like for the entire council to come up and surround our woman of the month, if you don't mind.
That's a clean copy of what I just read.
Monica Brooks is an entrepreneur, civil rights activist, community leader, whose advocacy began at age 11 when she addressed the governor of California to save her school's lunch program. Raised by her parents active in civil rights movement, she founded Concerned Citizens Against Industrial, CAFOS, Concerned Confined Animal Feeding Operations, helping stop a major poultry complex from polluting a predominantly black Maryland community, and serves on the Maryland Environmental Justice and Sustainable Communities Commission, the State Parks and Recreation Commissions, and Hebron's Planning and Zoning Commission. As president of the Wycomico County NAACP, she advances social, economic, racial, and political justice through legislation, advocacy, public testimony, community programs, and mentoring future leaders. She is also president of Apostle Expert Exterior Incorporated, a multi-state construction company, and with her husband, Pastor Robert Brooks, leads Solid Rock Outreach Ministries, organizing global mission trips. Brooks, a multilingual leader, guided by faith, is committed to uniting communities, promoting justice, and fostering dignity, respect, and equity across cultures. This is being presented to Monica Brooks. Today I have the right glasses on.
Just a very brief. I stand on the shoulders of, I see all of these beautiful women here. All of you have your own work that you're doing, even if it is being an auntie or a mom, or whether you're helping feed neighborhood kids, or you're reading to volunteer, or you're out there really doing the hardcore activism, but I'm standing on your shoulders. I'm standing on the shoulders of my mother and grandparents and all of those who said, don't just sit by the wayside, get involved, right? So I still believe it takes a village, and I invite all of you to join my village. And I believe together we can actually do great things. Look at these women here, great things. So thank you so much.
Oh, wait a minute, on my computer. It's not mine.
Drive that thing, Shane.
This is a very important moment because we do have an all-women's council. And there are a lot of women out here, as Monica has said, that have been the force behind a lot of us. Generations before us have set the ground for us. And we just want to be mindful of all the women who do things in the community, the city, the county, whatever. Next year may be one of you all. And we're looking forward to presenting you with one of these. This was our first year doing this, as I can remember, and I want to make it even grander each year because women need to be represented, and they need to be known for the works that they do in and out of our community, home, wherever, work, wherever they need to know. So thank you, Monica, and all the women out here. And all you women, stand up. Beautiful women, stand up. Stand up.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all. Okay? Next week, we'll have a few more. We're now ready for public comments. We will now hear them, and you will have 3 minutes. If you wish to comment, please come up to the podium, state your name, and if you are a city resident. So now it's time.
Hello, KT, city resident. So a little while ago, I emailed City Council a PDF of an amendment to the Public Art Master Plan. Sharon, thank you so much for reaching out to me, and Michelle, also thank you for reaching out to me. I would really like to see that amendment on a work session so that this City Council and the public can talk about it and change it or add to it, whatever needs to happen. I just think it makes sense to put something that's we all live with. 33,000 people own public art in this city. It should not be up to one person's opinion. It shouldn't be one person's opinion to install it. It shouldn't be one person's opinion to remove it. So if we could please bring that to the council, I would thoroughly appreciate that. And also, Mayor, what are your intentions with Black Lives Matter Boulevard? Thank you.
Next.
Good evening, Robert Taylor, city resident. I'd like to give a shout out to two shout outs. One is for the city's services in our winter that we've had, snow removal, garbage. It's been great. And secondly, I think I'm correct on this. I wasn't here at the last meeting, but I'm told that you're now going back to bi-weekly meeting schedule.
No, we have not made that decision. Mr.
Okay, well, please do, because I think everybody would appreciate it. Now, turning to some more substantive things, the City Park Water Main Project. I'm pretty familiar with it because I live right across the street from it. There's an article in the Independent this past week about some of the environmental concerns there. Trust you've seen that. If not, I'll be glad to send it to you. I will also send you some photographs we've taken of the huge dust clouds that are being created by the contractor. And depending on which way the wind blows, it can be a real problem. The mayor, I think, is looking into this. I've seen some evidence of that, and so it's off to a good start. I understand Tom Stevenson is going to be the man of the hour on this, which is great. So turning to another matter, though, and I sent you an email on this, I've just noticed a bill in Annapolis. It's House Bill 1518, and as you can tell by the number, it was introduced pretty late in the session. That would change the real estate property tax assessment cycle. In other words, right now we have triennial assessments. You get reassessed every 3 years. They want to move that to 5 years. Now, that is probably in the long run going to decrease the tax revenue coming into the city, because that 5-year extension on reassessment is going to be a much longer period of time. It will also be phased in during that period, and that'll be increased from 3 to 5 years as well. That is not cross-filed, thank goodness. It is just in the House, but it's been heard by the Ways and Means Committee. Both MACO, the Maryland Association of Counties, and MML have opposed it. But, you know, this is an election year, and a lot of funny things happen in Annapolis. As an older lawyer once told me many years ago, nobody's safe when the Maryland General Assembly is in session. I would urge council to send a letter to the Ways and Means Committee saying, look, put the kibosh on this. We don't need this stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
My name's Julie Bellamy. I live in the county. I don't live in the city, but I had a question about the Viscon Air closure. The manufacturing exemption brought it to mind. Has the city reached out to them? I mean, I know it's not a conversation, but I would just like to bring it up that they are losing 50 jobs.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
My youngest daughter was small. We got her this horse, you know, like the little fake horse, and it would go, I'm a little pony, clippity-clop. That's what I'm feeling like, clop, sorry. Anywho, I digress. So I just wanted to, again, say thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. My husband was like, you didn't tell me. I said, I didn't really I didn't know. But anywho, so, but that's not why I'm here. I just wanted to continue to bring forth about our homeless, our unhoused, our people who are still struggling out there in the community, and also those landlords that are not taking care of their properties, the ones who are still bad actors. And as I've said, even to the county council, I say to the city council, you know, what laws we already have on the books that we could make sure to see what is being actually enforced, and what things, maybe if there's some holes and gaps, maybe something you all can consider putting into. I also thought about maybe consider some sort of legislation for the seniors that would give them kind of a version of, good Lord, what's it called? When the rates don't go up.
Rent control?
Rent control, yeah. Look, Randy's like, heck no, but yeah, he knows what it means. Rent control, yes. My husband and I gave out food to the community for 8 years, just hundreds of families we would just do on our own. Not saying that to toot my own horn. The reason I'm bringing it up is the majority of the people that we serve were seniors. And it's because a lot of our seniors, they don't have the funds because they're raising grandkids. They don't want to see their grandkids in the system, and so they're taking care of them. So they barely have enough to get by. And so food and housing is critical. We know this medication prices are absolutely insane. There's some legislation that did come forth for that as well. But I encourage all of you to even look and see of the some of the, as Robert Taylor was saying, some of the legislation that's out there that can benefit our community. And there's landlord-tenant, but these things are really rough. And we have over almost 800 homeless families in our county. And we know the majority of our kids are concentrated in the city of Salisbury. So I just want to just keep us mindful. I know we're like, yay, it's sunny, it's happy, you know, but for some people, each day is a struggle. And whatever we can do to help make a difference, I think we should do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Langford, 1026 Arthur Court, city resident. Couple things. I guess I would echo Ms. Brooks' sentiments about, I brought this up about code enforcement before. It's currently on a report basis, and one time, you know, I had an interaction where tenant couldn't report my property, as well as I couldn't report to the city the property to clear up the miscommunication with the tenant. So if those inspectors were able to, you know, be released and be able to do some kind of like routine, you know, annual thing, Section 8 program is great. I got Perry come by once a year. Those tenants are happy because they have their stuff inspected. Anything that's wrong, we discussed at that time. If it hasn't been addressed during the course of the year, then there's nothing to argue about. So, you know, as a property manager operating within the city, I'm in favor of them letting the code enforcers do their job, and, you know, then everyone will be happier. Second thing, I think tonight my appointment is, I say this all the time, you know, disagreement is not opposition. Absolute agreement's not a prerequisite for getting work done. Speaking of getting work done, kudos to Councilwoman April Jackson. You at the helm, we've gotten a lot more done in the last month than we did in the prior months. And we moved through this meeting in less than an hour, and we had a 3-page agenda. I mean, it's just clearly working better. We were able to address things on the consent agenda, how that's done, code of conduct, rules of order, appointment process, streamlining how grants get taken in by the city. There has been this odd thing over the last, I don't know, for a while in the city, but especially in the last year where, you know, being a council member is a part-time civil service for people who are elected representatives. They're not full-time employees. They don't go through an HR process, for instance. So the idea, like, you know, I wasn't here last week, but when you're discussing the appointment process, the idea that HR is involved is, you know, odd because they're not city employees. And there is a distinction. Also, the president of the council is an honorific. I've said this before. It's linked to a role with responsibilities. It's not a scepter of power to be wielded. People who are in that role are setting the agenda, conducting the meeting with order, as we've been able to get work done here tonight. They're not an executive. They're not an administrator. They don't make those kinds of decisions on the city. There has been certain people in that role trying to misrepresent the role and the position to conflate their own ego. Then the last thing I would say on the west side, as far as community center, that sounds awesome. I've been advocating for over a year now. We need to annex in parts of the city on the west side where those businesses are receiving city water sewer, but they are not being taxed. And so the city is missing out on revenue. We're missing out on voter participation and registration and greater civic engagement within our city. So thank you for your time.
Anyone else? No one else? Administration comments?
Yeah, I just have a couple. Obviously, Waterside Park construction has begun on that, so with it being nice out, we're looking forward to that project being completed. The pedestrian bridge renovation's been completed, going towards the amphitheater. And then Woodcock Park, the new equipment has arrived. They've started that work, and they should be done by Friday. So, yeah, that's exciting. They're moving a lot faster than what was scheduled, so that'd be really nice for that park.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on Viscon Air, the lady left. But yeah, we've been in touch with Dave Ryan with Salisbury Wycomico Economic Development, and they're looking for exit strategies to figure out how to refill that building with a new owner, new operator. They actually were a customer of mine, Viscon Air, when they got bought out the first time. This is simply a buyout, and they just consolidate operations in another state, which, not uncommon here in Maryland when they buy multi-state situations. Anyway, on the landlord front, to complement a little bit of what Mike said, we're in regular contact with HCDD, and we're trying to find out better ways to do that job better, and they are too. But any tenant at any time can call and request an inspection with their permission, so they don't need the landlord's permission. So now, having said that, unfortunately, the most vulnerable people that are in the worst predicaments tend to be people that can't afford to lose their housing. So there's just constant, and if I had the solution to that, I would, I'd tell you what it is. But we have a landlord licensing law. We have an annual inspection upon sale in the event that they sell. So we're, and then you can call anytime and get an inspection. You don't have to, they don't have to be reported, and they can figure out some kind of happy medium and fix stuff over time. So that's it. Complimenting a little bit, West Side Community Center. Like I said, we're hoping to settle that in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a game changer for the kids over on that side of town. We're looking forward to that. And then on the issue of annexations, we have right now 1,853 parcels in the city that are improved, in the county that are improved, but they either have water or sewer, but they're not taxed. Now, they pay an upcharge relative to water or sewer, but they're not taxed. And, there's obviously limitations on what we can do there, but we continue to sort of make this sort of bastard footprint, lack of a better term, throughout the county and allow these tap-ins. And so we're trying to figure out a model that works for everybody, gives everybody a chance to ramp up. But we need to create revenue there to kind of to fill out the holes in our system, because we do have a lot of donuts. So that said, so we're working on that as well.
Thank you. Councilwoman Holland?
I did want to say, actually attended the ACE mentoring program the other evening. The students did an unhoused shelter project and presented it in the Junior Achievement Building. The building was phenomenal. I have never been in there. And the students' presentation, they were absolutely, just fantastic. Everything that they thought of and the different aspects on even how to feed the unhoused population was just phenomenal. I really appreciate all their work that they did. Second thing, I will send out a reminder that the Truth Committee on March 18th at 6:30 will be holding a community session. We invite everyone to come, bring your questions. It is at the Truett Street Community Center, and we really want public engagement and need more public involvement for that committee. So please come out, bring any questions. We'd love to see you. Thank you.
Well, I had the pleasure of attending the Habitat for Humanity gala. And there were some very dapper-looking folks out there. But it was a wonderful time for a great cause. They raised a lot of money. It's still not too late to donate. You can absolutely always give. I'm sure, Molly and everybody over there would be very appreciative if you were to donate to them. Had amazing food. The chefs seem to get better and better every year. Several of them ran out. I think they underestimated greatly how many people were going to be coming, or how much they were going to need. But it was a wonderful time. It was great seeing everybody out there, and I just wanted to give a shout out for that. Also, hang on, let me pull it back up here because I had it in front of me and I want to make sure I get the date and time right. There is during Women's History Month, there is Célébrer la Femme Empowerment Summit coming up. You can find them on Facebook. It's a all-day summit from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a great event. I went last year. They have wonderful speakers. They have wonderful vendors who are participating. It's absolutely worthwhile attending. It would be a great celebration of women and our contributions to the community. So always wanting to promote that sort of thing. So that's it for me.
When is it and what time is it?
It's March 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Where is it, Michelle?
It's at Salisbury University.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
Councilwoman DeShields?
Question. Councilwoman Holland, what time is your truth meeting on the 18th?
6:30.
6:30. Okay, thank you. Okay. I also had the pleasure of attending the ACE event, which stands for Architecture, Construction, and Engineering. These are kids in our high schools, our local high schools. Melissa and I just sat there and looked at each other in awe of what they had done. I mean, nuts and bolts, everything. There is a PowerPoint presentation they have, and Madam President, I think it would be really helpful in some way if they could come and present to us. It's honoring the students. I mean, we have some very talented students in our community, and I think if you promote them, we're also promoting our city. The other thing, I did drive by Woodcock Park. Oh, that's awesome. KT, drive by on your way home.
Take a picture?
It's moving and shaking, it really is. But airport meeting today. Breeze, the new airline, they are very pleased with their numbers, and they are continuing to expand, so you can still find a ride on the plane. The one thing, the airport is doing a lot in terms of growing and accommodating as far as hangars for other companies that would be working out of the airport. The cell system out there, I mean, the reception is evidently lousy. It's called a major dead zone. And they are diligently working on that, just so that you know they're not ignoring it because it impacts their employees as well. Upcoming event, Earth Day at the Zoo, is April the 18th from 11 to 4. It's free, and it's extremely educational for children and adults. The Newton Community Center, if you can't make the Mission of Mercy, you can go to the volunteer for Mission of Mercy one day, and you can go to the health fair at the Newton Center the other day. So you can have a full weekend. And I think that is it. So thank you.
Councilwoman Blake?
Gosh, everyone has really covered so much. Just thank you very much for coming out. Community engagement is very important. And this is Women's History Month, and we're glad to see so many women here tonight. Thank you very much. And that's it.
Mine is West Salisbury Community Center. I am so ecstatic about that coming to fruition. It's something that is much needed in the West Side community. It was promised to us some years ago, and it never came through. And I thank the mayor for pushing him and Nick pushing this effort to be able to have that, because, like I said, it's in the middle of a community of kids who really, really need that kind of support and education, even the parents. That's why I asked not to name it after, say, a youth center, because it's not going to be a youth center. It's for the whole entire community to access. The Waterside Park, another treasure. But the only thing, and I'm not even gonna complain, I usually have my Easter egg hunt over there, but I can't have the Easter egg hunt over there this year. But I'm fine with it, we'll figure out something else, but it's just something that, when you look at your district, your community growing, it just does my heart good, and I will continue working in my district as hard as I can to expand all the way over there by the Element Road by the mall to see whatever is needed in that area as well, because I see an area and I see a lot of, it's just wide open field. And, I thought about having a playground over there for the community. If we could do that, for that, because it's a lot of, actually apartments over there, a lot of homes and things over there. So that's one of my things to do. I believe in people getting out and recreating and having fun and being able to move around and not just sit in one place and have somewhere to go. And again, I will thank the mayor and the administration and the council. I can't forget the council, because the council are the members that made sure that these dreams came to fruition. So I'm just overwhelmed. And also, March the 29th from 3 to 6 at the Del Mar VFW, there will be a Vietnam Veteran War Day celebration on the 29th. And it's a good, I couldn't even tell you how great that is. And when you see the Vietnam veterans and you hear the stories, you'll be overwhelmed to a point, but it's also, some of it is kind of funny. Not that it is meant to be funny, but they make laughter, make jokes out of it to bring you, so they won't, because a lot of them had PTSD, believe me. But to get through it talking, they'll make a joke of it. But they're really hurt how they were treated. So that's why we celebrate this day with honors to all Vietnam veterans and all veterans, period. So you're all welcome to come. You don't have to eat, because we're going to have food there. You'll have a good time, and we have a good speaker too as well. So with that being said, our meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.